Man, you ever been on a flight where everything just feels off? Like the air's too thick, the smile's too forced, and you're just waiting for something to go down? That's exactly what happened to Marcus Big M. Jackson, a guy who's seen it all, NBA legend, business mogul, and a heart bigger than his 7-foot framing in a private jet ride that turned into a viral moment nobody saw coming. Picture this, a crisp afternoon at a swanky private terminal in Miami, the kind of place where the champagne's already chilling before you board. Marcus rolls up, low-key as ever, hoodie, jeans, sneakers, dragging a beat-up carry-on like he's just another dude catching a flight. He's not here for the spotlight. Fame's a double-edged sword, and he's learned to dodge it when he can. But even in this world of polished leather seats and gold-trimmed everything, he can't dodge the side-eyes. So he's at the gate, and this flight attendant, let's call her Karen, mid-30s, blonde bun so tight it's practically screaming, gives him the once-over. "Sir, your boarding pass?" she says, her voice dripping with that fake politeness you know hides something else. Marcus hands it over, chill as always, but Karen's holding it like she's inspecting a fake ID at a dive bar. Her eyes flick up, down, up again, like she's thinking, this guy? In first class? She waves him through, but that tight little smile says she's already made up her mind about him. Marcus settles into his seat big enough for his frame. Thank God, in the cabin's buzzing with the usual first-class crowd. Suits talking crypto, a socialite scrolling Instagram, an older couple whispering like they're in on some secret. The vibe's fancy, but Marcus feels the stares. Not the "hey, aren't you famous?" kind, but the "what's he doing here?" kind. He's used to it, people judging the hoodie, not the man, but it stings all the same. Karen's working the aisle now, all smiles for the guy in the Armani suit, extra pillows for the socialite. But when she gets to Marcus, nada. Skips his row like he's invisible. No drink, no snack, just a quick glance that says, "You don't belong." Marcus notices, but he's not sweating it. He's been through worse court battles, tabloid lies, you name it. He sips his water, scrolls his phone, and lets it slide for now. Things get spicy during the meal service. Karen struts up, menu in hand, her voice flat as a pancake. "We've got 2 options, sir, but, some items might be limited." Marcus raises an eyebrow. "Limited? For first class?" She shrugs, barely hiding her smirk. "We prioritize certain guests." Ouch. He picks the steak anyway, but when it shows up, it's half the size of the plates around him. The older couple across the aisle notices, their whispers turning to frowns. Marcus just eats, calm as ever, but you can feel the tension building, like a storm rolling in. Then comes the moment that flips the script. Karen's back, standing over Marcus like she's the queen of the skies. "Sir," she says, loud enough for the whole cabin to hear, "your bag's blocking the aisle. Move it. Now." Marcus looks down, his bag's tucked neatly under the seat, not even close to the aisle. "It's fine where it is," he says, his voice low, steady. Karen's face tightens. "I'll check it myself," she snaps, bending down to yank at his bag like it personally offended her. The cabin's watching now, heads turning, phones creeping out. Marcus leans forward, his voice still calm but firm. "That's not necessary. Karen's not having it." "I'm ensuring compliance," she hisses, her professional mask cracking like cheap glass. The older couple staring, the socialites stop scrolling, and the air's so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. Karen stands up, glaring, and Marcus just looks at her, unflinching, like he's saying, "Go ahead, try me." And then Bamsh does the unthinkable. Karen, in a flash of pure, reckless anger, slaps Marcus across the face. The sound echoes like a gunshot. Gasps ripple through the cabin. The socialite drops her phone. The older couple freezes, the wife clutching her husband's arm. Even the other flight attendants look like they've seen a ghost. Karen's standing there, hands still raised, her face a mix of shock and defiance, like she's waiting for someone to back her up. Spoiler, nobody does. Marcus doesn't flinch, doesn't touch his face, just leans forward, his eyes locking onto hers, and says, quiet but deadly, "You just made a big mistake." That line lands like a sledgehammer. Karen stumbles back, her bravado crumbling, her hands shaking as she adjusts her uniform, trying to play it off. But the cabin's alive now, whispers turning to murmurs, passengers leaning forward like they're watching a live-action drama. Before Karen can dig herself deeper, The captain storms out of the cockpit. "What the hell's going on?" he demands, his eyes darting from Karen to Marcus. One of the other attendants, a young woman named Lisa, whispers something to him, and his face darkens. "Miss Thompson," he says, voice like steel, "we need to talk." Now, Karen's mouth opens, but no words come out. She follows him to the galley, her steps stiff, like she's marching to her own funeral. The cabin's buzzing, but Marcus? Cool as ice. He pulls out his phone, types something quick, and sets it down. Minutes later, the captain's back, looking like he's aged a decade. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announces, "we're making an unscheduled landing due to an incident. Thank you for your patience." The socialite leans over to her friend, whispering, "Who is that guy?" The older man across the aisle mutters, "Whoever he is, she's toast." The plane touches down at a small airport, and here's where it gets wild. A black SUV pulls up, and two sharp-dressed assistants step out, climbing aboard like they own the place. "Mr. Jackson," one says, "all respect. Everything's ready as you requested." Marcus nods, still calm, but the passengers are starting to connect the dots. The captain calls Karen forward, his voice low but firm. "Your conduct was unacceptable. This is out of my hands now." Karen's panicking, her face pale as she stammers, "I was just doing my job." The assistant cuts her off, voice cold as ice. "Miss Thompson, you should know Mr. Jackson isn't just a passenger. He owns this jet and the entire airline." Mic drop. The cabin erupts in gasps. The socialite's jaw hits the floor. The older couple nods like they knew it all along. Karen's face goes from red to ghost white. "No, that's not," she mumbles, but it's too late. Marcus stands, his presence filling the cabin. "You didn't know because you didn't care to know," he says, his voice steady but cutting. "You judged me by my clothes, my look, and you let that decide how you'd treat me. That's not just wrong, it's a failure." Karen's tearing up, muttering apologies, but Marcus isn't done. "Actions have consequences," he says, "and now you'll face yours." Two cops board the plane, their faces all business. "Miss Thompson, you're coming with us," one says. Karen's sobbing now, pleading it was a misunderstanding, but they cuff her and lead her off, the passengers recording every second. Marcus turns to the crowd, his voice calm but powerful. "I'm sorry you had to see this. This isn't the standard I set for my airline. Everyone deserves respect, no matter who they are." The cabin breaks into applause, the older couple cheering, even the socialite clapping like she's found a new hero. Fast forward a few months, and Marcus doesn't just let this slide. He goes big new training programs to tackle bias, a Skyward Hope initiative giving free flights to kids, families, anyone who needs it. The airline's transformed, and so's its rep. One day, Marcus boards a regular flight, no private jet, just to see the change for himself. The crew's warm, the vibe's welcoming, and when a young kid across the aisle giggles at the runway lights, Marcus smiles. This is what he fought for. In an interview later, he's asked why he keeps pushing. "It's not about me," he says, leaning forward, eyes intense. "It's about making sure nobody feels small because of who they are. You don't need fame to stand UPU, just need to know your worth." That hits hard, and it's still ringing in people's ears. So what do you think? Was Karen just having a bad day? Or was this deep Harris system that lets prejudice slide until someone like Marcus calls it out? Drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from, and share your take on justice, respect, or that one time you faced something similar. Hit that subscribe button, and let's keep the conversation going. Peace.